Hi guys, in this video I'm going to answer questions about the body composition monitor that you've been asking. Also, the measurements that we took on River Rizzy Marathon for you who visited our tent, and we gave you cards with your measurements on. This is the video that is going to answer all your questions. In case you're interested, after the video, we're going to put the video in the link that is provided below the video. Call us, contact us, come to our facility. We shall give you all the services that you need. Thank you so much. Or you're one of our clients. Welcome to this webinar. This webinar's intention is to explain the results that we've measured, and recorded. And if you have your card that we're using to record the results of the your body composition, it's better you attend this meeting when you're actually having your card with you. Let me share my screen and I explain a few things about the body composition. What is body composition? We are always using a body mass index in the hospital. So I'm going to first compare body mass index and body composition. But before I go into that, you can look at the results and you see where you're high, low, or normal. If you're high, we can help you take you back to normal. If you're normal, we can help you maintain the normal. There are some myths that I wanted to talk about that people are always throwing here and there, and I want to bust them. For example, people say muscle turns into fat if you do not work out. That's a lie. There's no way muscle can turn into fat because those are two different tissues. It's like bone turning into muscle. It's not possible. And then that you need to starve to lose weight faster. As this might work at the beginning, you might see yourself losing weight, but after that, because you can't starve forever, after that you will gain. Most people, and I'm sure you've seen your friends, someone loses so much weight and then they gain, and they even gain much more than they used to have. And then the commonest, old people do not exercise. Old people should exercise because they're already in their old age. They've already started losing muscle. And they need to maintain their muscle mass for different reasons that I'm going to explain ahead. Then resistance exercise is for men because it can make women look like men. Really? No, that's not true. Everyone has their own make. The men have their hormones, the women have their hormones. The hormones that we share, you find that men's hormones are way higher in number than women. So there is no way a woman can look like a man unless you add more steroids on the hormones that your body is already producing. And then now we can dive into BMI and body composition. So BMI, it's height, it's weight in kgs over height in meters squared. And that is all you get. Like, you don't know what is making the BMI high or low or normal, because as we all know, there are normal people who can get diabetes. There are normal people, normal weight, normal BMI people who can get high blood pressure, and you wonder. But the body composition will tell you why. If you came and took your body composition, because body composition shows you the muscle mass, fat percentage, and the visceral fat. So if you have BMI which is high, and we find that your muscle percentage is the one making it high, that's okay, that's normal, and it's actually very good. It means you're very healthy. But if you went and you measured your BMI and you don't know why it's high, they will tell you you're obese. But in actual sense, you have a high muscle percentage. So this body composition breaks it down and shows you which one is fat, which one is muscle, which one is visceral fat. And if you know that, then you'll know why you're small and you have diabetes, why you're small and you have high blood pressure, or why you're big and you're actually feeling great, because muscle makes you feel great. So what is the importance of muscle? Besides looking and feeling great, it has a lot of benefits. For example, strength. When you have a high muscle percentage, you find yourself doing a lot of work very easily. Like, you're stronger, you wake up in the morning, you have energy. You're not like someone who woke up in the morning and they're all feeling weak and they really have no strength. And then also for our dear parents and grandparents, you find someone is 70 years old, but they have so much energy. Like, they do push-ups, they can do pull-ups, and you're like, oh my God, this guy. But that's because their muscle percentage is high, and muscle gives you strength. It makes you stronger. Then it makes you live longer. What do I mean? When we a certain age, then our muscles begin to reduce. For example, I think some books say, some literature says 30 years. 30 years, like per year, you lose 1% of your muscle. And then as you grow older, the percentage increases. And whenever you lose that percentage, 1%, you lose like 3 to 4% of your strength. So our bodies keep on losing, and at that particular age, it's hard for your body to repair itself very fast. So it's better to make the muscle now and maintain the muscles then than starting then to build your muscles. But that doesn't mean that it's too late for those of us who are above 30 to start working out. It's better to work hard to build, than just let it go and lose it. And by the way, people who have a high muscle percentage even live longer, because muscles are really, really important. So, like this guy here. And then also, when people are treating diabetes, they usually concentrate on medicine and they forget. They just tell you, go and exercise, and they don't tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. Then people do aerobics and cardio, most of the cardio and HIIT workouts, but they don't build muscle. So what do I mean? We need to build, to also normalize talking about bodybuilding, muscle building. Even for doctors, we need to tell people that they need to build muscle than just telling them to go and exercise. Because, for example, muscle, when someone is diabetic, they have a problem with getting rid of the glucose in the blood, because they need more insulin to remove the glucose from the blood, to take up glucose by the cells. But muscle takes up to 60 to 70%, in some people up to 80%, depending on the muscle percentage you have, from the bloodstream. And how much glucose do we need in the blood? We need like 6 grams of glucose in the bloodstream at a particular time. So you can see, when you have a high muscle percentage, you don't need a lot of insulin to help you, because the muscles will actually help you do the work. Yeah? And then, like I said, building muscle makes you look good. Everybody wants to look good, and you walk out and you're feeling all great. How do we lose muscle, or why do we lose muscle? For example, when we're doing too much cardio. So when you do too much cardio, like skipping a rope, for example, the aerobics that we do, you use so much energy and you burn the glycogen stores very, very fast. And the next thing you start breaking down is muscle, because the brain doesn't really burn, doesn't use it. The body will break down the fatty acids for energy, but the brain prefers to use ketones, but the ketones cover only 75% of your energy, and the rest it prefers glucose. So what will it do? The brain will switch your body to break down the proteins to form glucose, and the only thing that can give us protein is the muscle. So don't do too much cardio. If you really love cardio so much, just take a shorter time doing it, but not too much, because it only works out your lungs and your heart, but it doesn't build muscle. And then number 2, you be doing too much cardio before your workout. You get tired quickly, and then when you get tired, it means that when you're doing your reps in the gym, you're not going to do them effectively because you're already tired. And then also you're doing way high impact cardio, like jumping, running, the way of sprinting, high knees. All these, they can prevent you from doing the weightlifting, the resistance training very effectively. For example, this is skipping a rope. And then another way you can lose muscle, the reason we lose muscle is missing meals. And the same thing I explained is your body burns the glycogen stores to get energy, and they get finished, you start breaking down the fats, the brain can't use the fats, then and then stress. When you're stressed, the hormones that build are suppressed, they are not produced, like testosterone, for example. And then the ones that break down the catabolic hormones, e.g. cholesterol, is the one which is being secreted. Now, we know cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So whenever you're stressed, the cortisol levels are very high. And what do they do for them? They just break down. They break down. So muscles will be broken down and you lose them. And then usually when you're stressed, the comfort foods, you'll not find someone, maybe a few, but most people, they will run to chocolate, ice cream, bread, cakes, all that. They have no proteins, or if they do, they have very low, and they are full of sugar. So what do? You end up adding weight, and also you have no protein to build muscle. So you'll just end up losing whatever you have. Remember, the catabolic hormones are also high in high levels. So whatever is being broken is not being replaced. And then the next one, now that's it with the muscle percentage. Subcutaneous fat. This is the fat just beneath your skin. You can see it here. This is the one under the skin, even anywhere under the skin there is this fat, and it's important. It has its own functions. It can control temperature. It attaches the skin to the underlying tissue, muscle, bone, and then also it can help blood vessels and nerves to go through and go wherever. And it even, by the way, it acts as a shock absorber. It protects you from bumps and falls. So it's important, but that doesn't mean it should be too much. How do we make people, how do people end up gaining too much fat? Some genetics. There's some literature I was reading, and they used the real words that your body remembers your bad manners. If you're obese now, your offsprings will have to work very hard not to be obese, because there's a genetic attachment to it. Like, you can actually eat and change your genetics. You don't change your DNA code, but you change how your body receives the signals. So you don't know how much of your offspring you're affecting. And then also not eating a healthy diet. For example, if you eat a large amount of food, you're not working out, you use very little calories, and then the rest is being stored. What are we storing? Stored as fat. When the other, we have used whatever we need, excess is being stored as fat. And then also when you have low muscle mass, usually you will have a high fat percentage. Then insulin and diabetes and insulin resistance. When you're resistant to insulin, it means you have excess glucose, and excess glucose is going to be stored as fat. So when you build high muscle percentage, it will take up most of the glucose. That's why we need to exercise, you guys. You need to exercise. So how do you get rid of it? Change your diet. For example, don't you can actually be eating. You can eat your food, like every time you eat, you're exposing yourself to a pre-diabetic state. Insulin resistance. What do I mean? There are some foods that you combine and then you become resistant. Like when you eat a high fatty meal and a high carbohydrate meal, in their breakdown, they will increase the quantities of acetyl-CoA, which will be converted to citrate, and citrate blocks the site where insulin works. Yeah, then it will prevent the cells from taking in glucose. Actually, glucose 6, that phosphate. But anyway, just know that glucose will accumulate in the bloodstream, and then the pancreas will try to synthesize a lot of insulin. As it is doing so, it is increasing insulin concentration in blood, and you're insulin resistant, because that's what diabetes is. Yeah. Exercise. When you exercise more, you build muscle, you burn more calories. Yeah, you get rid of some fat. Good night sleep. By the way, sleep also. When you're sleeping, you burn a lot more calories. Sometimes you burn more calories than what you burn when you're awake. Then also stress. You see how stress makes you accumulate fat. So it's better to deal with your stress. And yeah, visceral fat. This is our problem causer. It also has importance because it wraps your organs, your internal organs. It's called hidden fat. It is stored deep inside your belly, wrapped around the organs, including intestines and the liver. And I showed it to you here. This is the visceral fat. You can see this, it's right inside, but it can also protrude, make your belly protrude when it's too much. Yeah. So it makes a tenth of the fat stored in the body. It gives a person an apple shape when it accumulates. It's too much. So, and it's more common in men. By the way, if you find a woman whose visceral fat is really high, that one, I already know that there's a problem. So I'll just go beyond and go ahead and start examining, test for diabetes, test for what. So when it's high, usually they are pre-diabetic, pre-hypertensive, like you are pre of those things. So it's better we try and avoid visceral fat, because it's the one that actually predisposes us to diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, stroke. This is the bad thing. So if I measured your results on that day, or if you've come to the center and we've measured you and you found that your visceral fat is very high, or not, like above 9, because the normal is 9 and below, please, I request that you start working on it as fast as possible. Don't continue moving on for thinking that it's okay. It's not kawa, because you're heading for the bad. work towards going backwards. And what causes visceral fat to be high? Mostly alcohol, because alcohol and fructose. And where do we usually find fructose? In honey. You find most people who have a high visceral fat, they are taking honey, they got off sugar, thinking they are going for the best honey because they have put out that honey is organic and all that, but it's also sugar, it's fructose. Like it's 100% of it is metabolized in the liver, and it's usually stored as visceral fat. Alcohol, we know that some of it metabolized in the brain, but most of it, I think 75 on 15, okay, 5% is metabolized in the brain, some percentages in the liver. So most of it is stored as visceral fat, yeah? And I already said what it predisposes you to. So in sodas, in fruits, even we don't know that fruits actually are fructose, yeah? But fruits are fructose. You find you're eating too many fruits, but remember these are they are sweet. They are sweet, so we know that it's sugar. Sugar is sweet. Wherever you see something is sweet, ask yourself why. Ketchup, and there are very many things on the market that have you can see among the contents, it's written there, high fructose corn syrup. Just know that fructose is going to be metabolized in your liver, yeah? So please work very hard and avoid, yeah, okay? And then what happens when this fructose is being metabolized? It doesn't just go, yes, it is stored, but also it spoils your liver. It's, as it is being metabolized, there are these lipids that it keeps dropping, and that's why you go to the hospital and they will tell you you're suffering from non-alcoholic liver disease, and it can also cause liver cirrhosis. So non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Because of this, you've not been drinking. Someone will come and say, but I don't drink alcohol. How do I get liver cirrhosis? But you're eating honey, you're drinking a lot of sodas, you're eating a lot of fruits, and that is what is causing it, but you don't know, yeah? So let's work very hard and get rid of the visceral fat. In case you've watched this and you feel like you want to work on yourself, if you feel like you want to remain there and live like that and continue with life like that, it's okay. But if you feel like you want to start and change your life and work very hard, you can come. We can find a way of making these exercises and a healthy life fit into your schedule, and you plan for it with us. We'll help you. We'll help you reduce your visceral fat. We'll help you build muscle and live a healthy life. Stress management. We work with people, professionals, everyone that needs our services. Just contact us. We'll send you an email. We'll attach our price lists on this after this webinar, and we'll send it to you. You go through, you can pick whichever package suits you, because we are trying to fit in everyone in our category, those who want to work on their lives. Our goal is to help everybody live a healthy life, and we need to prevent these non-communicable diseases of diabetes, high blood pressure. We need to prevent them, especially in our age, people our age. In this generation, we're getting these diseases way earlier than the other generations. So we are trying to make sure that we prevent these diseases as early as possible. And if you're already on medication, no problem. We help you to reduce the medical burden, the medicine burden. We reduce the number of pills. Some people even go off the medication because there's a way you can know that this is what is causing this. For example, diabetes, high blood pressure, like you know what is causing it. We get rid of the stress, we get rid of the excess glucose, and then you find that the insulin that you needed. If you needed 18, now you need like 10, and then we go on reducing and reducing, and we get to a common goal and achieve our goal. So contact us, we can help you, we can work with you, and please don't wait for tomorrow. Start today, because if you wait for tomorrow, then you don't know what you're spoiling in your body. Thank you so much, and have a good day.